Krishna. Hare Krishna. Jaya Radha Madhava Kunja Vihari Jaya Radha Madhava Kunja Vihari Jaya Gopi Jana Vallabha Girivaradhari Jaya Gopi Jana Vallabha Girivaradhari Yashodanandana Brajajana Ranjana Yashodanandana Brajajana Ranjana Yamunatira Vanachari Yamunatira Vanachari Jaya Radha Madhava Kunja Vihari Jaya Radha Madhava Kunja Vihari Jaya Gopi Jana Vallabha Girivaradhari Jaya Gopi Jana Vallabha Girivaradhari Yashodanandana Brajajana Ranjana Yashodanandana Brajajana Ranjana Yamunatira Vanachari Yamunatira Vanachari Jaya Radha Madhava Kunja Vihari Jaya Radha Madhava Kunja Vihari नाम संकीर्तन की श्री प्रभुपाद की ओम नमो भगवते वासुदेवाय ओम नमो भगवते वासुदेवाय ओम नमो भगवते वासुदेवाय नारायणं नमस्कृत्यं नरं चैव नरोत्तमं देवीं सरस्वतीं व्यासं ततो जयमुदीरयेत् नष्टप्रायेषु अभद्रेषु Nityam Bhagavata Sevaya Bhagavati Uttama Shloke Bhaktir Bhavati Naishtiki. So we are reading from the first canto of Śrīmad-Bhāgavatam. This is chapter number 18, titled Maharaja Pariksit cursed by a Brahmana boy. Yesterday His Grace Deenbandhu Prabhu read verse number 8. Today we will read verse number 9. Upavarnitam etat va punyam parikshitam maya Vasudeva katha upetam आख्यानम यत अपृच्छता उपवर्णितम एतद्व पुण्यं पारीक्षितं मया वासुदेव कथोत्पेतम् आख्यानं यद अपृच्छता उपवर्णितम एतद्व पुण्यं पारीक्षितं मया वासुदेव कथोपेतम् आख्यानं यद अपृच्छत उपवर्णितम एतद्व पुण्यं पारीक्षितं मया वासुदेव कथोपेतम् आख्यानं यदपृच्छित. उपवर्णितमेतद्वा पुण्यं पारीक्षितं मया वासुदेव कथोत्पेतम् आख्यानं यत् परीक्षितम्. उपवर्णितमेतद्वा पुण्यं पारीक्षितं मया वासुदेव कथोत्पेतम्. माताजी. उपवर्णितमेतद्वा पुण्यं पारीक्षितं मया वासुदेव कथोत्पेतम् आख्यानम् Upavarnitam, almost everything described. Etat, all these. Va, unto you. Punyam, pious. Parikshitam, about Maharaj Pariksit. Maya, by me. Vasudeva, of Lord Krishna. Katha, narrations. Upetam, in connection with. Akhyanam, statements. Yat, what. Aprichita, you asked from me. Translation by His Divine Grace, Srila A.C. Bhaktananda Swami Prabhupada Ki. O sages, as you did ask me, now I have described almost everything regarding the narrations about Lord Krishna in connection with the history of the pious Maharaj Pariksit. Purport by Srila Prabhupada. Śrīmad-Bhāgavatam is the history of the activities of the Lord. And the activities of the Lord are performed in relation with the devotees of the Lord. Therefore, the history of the devotees is not different from the history of Lord Krishna's activities. A devotee of the Lord regards both the activities of the Lord and those of his pure devotees on an equal level, for they are all transcendental. Om Jnanatimirandasya Jnananjana Shalakaya Chakshurun Militam Yena Tasmai Shri Gurave Namah Shri Chaitanya Manobhishtam Sthapitam Yena Bhutale Swayam Rupa Kadamahyam Dadati Swapadantikam Vandeham Shri Guru Shri Yuta Padakamalam Shri Gurun Vaishnavamshcha Shri Rupam Sagrajatam Sahagana Raghunathanvitam Tam Sajivam Sadvetam Savadhutam Parijana Sahityam Krishna Chaitanya Devam Shri Radha Krishna Padan Sahagana Lalita Shri Vishakhanvitamscha Nama Om Vishnu Padaya Krishna Prishtaya Bhutale Shrimate Bhakti Vedanta Swami Niti Namine Namaste Saraswate Deve Gauravani Pracharine Nirvishesha Shunyavadi Pashtatya Deshatarine Nama Om Vishnu Padaya Krishna Prishtaya Bhutale Shrimate Bhakti Siddhanta Saraswati Tinamine Shri Varshabhanavi Devi Daitaye Kripabde Krishna Sambandha Vijnana Daine Prabhave Nama Madhuryojvala Premadhyay Shri Rupanuga Bhaktida Shri Gaura Karuna Shakti Vigrahaya Namastute Namaste Gauravani Shri Murtaye Dinatarine Rupanuga Virud Apa Siddhanta Dvanta Harine Namo Gaura Kishoraya Sakshad Vairagya Murtaye Vipralambara Sambode Padam Bhujayate Nama Namo Bhakti Vinodaya Satchidananda Namine Gaura Shakti Swarupaya Rupanuga Varayate Gauravir Bhava Bhumestvam Nirdesta Sajjana Priya Vaishnava Sarva Bhoma Shri Jagannathayate Nama Vancha Kalpatarubhyascha Kripa Sindubhya Evacha Patitanam Pavanebhyo Vaishnavebhyo Namo Nama Namo Mahavadanyaya Krishna Prema Pradayate Krishnaya Krishna Chaitanya Namne Gaura Tvishi Nama Panchatattvatmakam Krishnam Bhakta Rupa Swarupakam Bhaktavatar Bhaktakhyam Bhakta Shaktikam He Krishna Karuna Sindhu Dinabandhu Jagatpate Gopesa Gopika Kanta Radha Kanta Namastute Jayatam Surato Pangor Mama Manda Matirgati Matsarvasya Padam Bhojau Radha Madana Mohanau Divyad Vrindaranya Kalpadrumadaha Śrīmad Ratnagara Simhasanastau Śrīmad Radha Śrīla Govinda Devo Preshtalibi Sevyamanau Smarami Śrīman Rasarasarambhi Vamshi Vatat Tatastitau Karshan Venu Swaner Gopi Gopinata Shriyestunaha Tapta Kanchana Gaurangi Radhe Vrindavaneshwari Vrishabhanu Sute Devi Pranamami Hari Priye Jai Shri Krishna Chaitanya Prabhu Nityananda Shri Advaita Gadadhar Shri Vasadi Gaur Bhakta Vrinda Hare Krishna 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 Hare 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 Rama 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 Hare Hare. Firstly, Sitaram Prabhu is here. He should have been giving the Sunday class. But for whatever reasons I have been told to give, it's like Lord Ram could have gone to Lanka and done everything, but he engaged monkeys. So getting a chance to speak something from Śrīmad-Bhāgavatam. The translation is, O sages, as you did ask me, this is Sukadeva Goswami. Now I have described almost everything regarding the narrations about Lord Krishna in connection with the history of the pious Maharaja Pariksit. And in the purport, what Srila Prabhupada writes is the history of the devotees and the history of the Lord are intertwined. They cannot be separated. And therefore, by describing the history of Maharaj Pariksit, whose history does Sukadeva Goswami end up describing? Lord Krishna. If you just look at, can we show the index of the first canto? If you look at the index of the first canto is special in many ways. One way it is special is you don't have to wait for the 10th canto to get into Krishna Leela. So much of Krishna Leela is mentioned in the first canto. So if you see, from where does Krishna Leela start in this? Like pastimes of, from where is Lord Krishna mentioned in the pastimes? From which chapter? Directly. The son of Drona punished, right? Because when that happens, what happens next? Prayers of Queen Kunti. And in that, who is she praying to? To Krishna. And then, after Ashwathama does that, the son of Drona, who saves Uttara's womb? Krishna. So again, Krishna is mentioned there. And then we go to the next chapter, passing away of Bhishmadev. In whose presence did he leave? We recently had Sankranti, Makar Sankranti. Bhishmadev had this boon of leaving whenever he wishes to. So he chose not just the right time according to the planetary calculations, but he chose the time when Lord Krishna could be there in front of him. Lord Krishna had sent after the, so we all know, before the Mahabharata war, one of the Pandavas got bewildered. Who was he? Arjuna. And then what did Krishna do? He spoke Bhagavad Gita. After that, what happened? His illusion went away, he fought and won. Arjuna says also, Nashta moha smiter labda karishve vachanam tava. My moha is gone, now I will do whatever you say. So this was before the war. After the war, another Pandav brother became bewildered. Who was he? Yudhishthir Maharaj. But this time, Krishna could have just repeated whatever he told. Sometimes when we preach to people or we are trying to quote unquote counsel somebody and they come with the same things, our formula is also the same thing we repeat and it keeps working again on them and then it goes on. But here Lord Krishna could have just spoken those 600 odd verses, whatever he spoke in the Bhagavad Gita out of 700. You could just repeated all that, starting with Asochayan, Anvasochastvam, where from all these impurities have come, instead of just, Microsoft Word में था ना find replace, जहाँ पे भी अर्जुना, कौंतेया, परंतपा, ये सब है, just replace it with Yudhishthir, Dharmaraj, whatever you want to, हो जाता पूरा Bhagavad Gita part 2. But what did Lord Krishna do? You went through this chapter, no? What did he do? He said, I don't know. The Lord can say, the all-knower, we say, one of the 6 of Aishwaresha, Samarasha, Viras, one of the 6 qualities is all knowledge. And Krishna says, I don't know. Go to Bhishma. Go to Bhishma Dev. He is elder of the Kurus. He will tell you. He will guide you. So the Acharyas mentioned that the reason why Lord Krishna did that was to show the world the glories of Bhishma Dev. Although because of his pratigya, his vow, he was bound to fight on the side of the Kurus, actually he is an exalted devotee of mine, one of the Mahajans. So Krishna is saying, the thing I could not do, Bhishma did. चलो अर्जुन ठीक है, वो उसका मैंने कर दिया, वो मेरा फ्रेंड है, जो भी है, वो उसको मैंने पैच वर्क करके भेज दिया आगे. Sometimes we also have to do this, patch work करके और 6 महीना खिंचाओ आगे, then let's see. Sometimes we do to ourselves. Krishna is saying, but what I couldn't do with Yudhishthir Maharaj, my devotee Bhishma did. And then another reason why Krishna was there was, this is the time of the greatest, like it said, Neha Vikramana Soti Pratnavayor Navidyate Swa Alpam Api Asya Varnyasa Trayate Mahato Bhayat. the greatest danger, the time of death. Because at that time, your whole life can be a success or a failure. Of course, Bhishma Dev is a pure devotee, but Krishna is showing personally, Ma Sucha, personally I will take care. Krishna is sitting in front of Bhishma Dev, looking at Bhishma Dev, and Bhishma Dev is looking at Krishna. And if you read that chapter, it's like, love in Viryaras, where Bhishma Dev is describing how he felt great pleasure at seeing Krishna perspire, at seeing drops of blood in Krishna, at seeing Krishna in Kshatriya spirit, because Bhishma is a Kshatriya. So for him, when he sees his Lord in Kshatriya spirit, breaking vows, doing, mera vow jane do, Bhishma ka vow rakhna hai, let me go and take up a wheel, and he's fighting. And Bhishma Dev is in ecstasy, and he's saying, I am remembering all that. And he leaves. So you cannot think of Bhishma Dev's passing away without thinking of Krishna. No one can mention, nowadays even those who speak secular katha, they cannot speak about Bhishma Dev without speaking about Krishna. And then we hear the prayers of Queen Kunti. Again, it's all about Krishna, Krishna, Krishna. Then the next chapter is the departure of Lord Krishna to Dwarka. Obviously that's about Krishna because it's of himself. Next chapter is entrance of Lord Krishna. Then birth of Pariksit Maharaj. Again it is mentioned, why was he named Pariksit? He's looking, where is that magnanimous personality who saved me in the womb? Where is he? Then we read about the activities of Maharaj Pariksit. In that also it is described that wherever Maharaj Pariksit would go, as the king, wherever he would go, at that time, people would always throw a grand reception to welcome him, which happens even now when, like today evening, His Holiness Indra Maharaj will come. So there will be, ISKCON Attapur is famous for having wonderful receptions and then posting it on Instagram so that everyone can see. So there will be, flowers will be thrown on him, he'll be welcomed, Sachinanda Hari Prabhu will garland him, and then he will be brought here, and there'll be wonderful kirtan, and he'll be offered a aarti plate, and then he'll come. Reception. There are protocols when a dignitary comes, chief minister, prime minister, president. So now Pariksit is the king of the world. So wherever he would go, everyone would want to please him. Now you should know what pleases a person, then you can receive him that way. The Bhagavatam describes the thing that would please Maharaj Pariksit was Krishna Katha. And so wherever Maharaj Pariksit would go, those people of those cities or those towns or those countries would call Brahmanas. And Brahmanas would recite pastimes of Lord Krishna. And then that was how Pariksit was welcomed. So he would feel very happy. So activities of Maharaj Pariksit, Krishna is mentioned. Then next chapter is Dhritarashtra quits home, but the chapter after that is again disappearance of Lord Krishna. And then the Pandavas retire timely. We hear the dialogue between Yudhishthir Maharaj and Arjuna. Jai Shri Shri Gaur Nitai ki, Shri Shri Radha Madhav ki, Shri Shri Raghunath Baldev Subhadra Maharani ki. So we hear the dialogue between Arjuna and Yudhishthir. And Arjuna is saying again and again that, I see bad omens, I see evil omens, something is not, something has gone wrong. And then he said, all my energy is gone, all my ability is gone. And then Yudhishthir Maharaj, without Arjuna having to say, Yudhishthir Maharaj concludes, has Lord Krishna left? So even this chapter of Pandavas retire timely, we are hearing about Krishna. And then how Pariksit received, and then this chapter, it is again describing glorifying Lord Krishna. So one of the qualifications of a Madhyam Adhikari, right? A Kanishta Adhikari, one of the attributes of Kanishta Adhikari is they have some respect for the Lord, but they don't consider devotees that special or that valuable. And one of the differences that is mentioned between a Kanishta and a Madhyam Adhikari is that a Madhyam Adhikari values devotees, understands the importance of devotees. So here in the purport, Prabhupada is saying that you cannot speak of the Lord without speaking about the devotees. the devotees are so dear to the Lord that the Lord will ensure that either they are connected in the pastimes with Him or He does things just because of them. And same way, other way around. The devotees, their lives are revolving around the Lord. The Bhagavad Gita, we have that slok, Mat chitta, Mat gata prana, bodhayanta parasparam, kathayantascha mam nityam, tushyanti cha, ramanti cha. They are getting pleasure and exciting each other by discussing the pastimes of the Lord. Mat chitta, always thinking about the Lord. So many examples we saw just from the first canto of Śrīmad-Bhāgavatam, of how Bhagavatam is not just about the pastimes of the Lord, but also about the devotees. And that goes on. Even second canto, third canto, fourth canto, not just 10th canto, everywhere, somewhere or the other, Krishna comes, or some incarnation of the Lord comes, in the dialogue between the devotees. So we can see here that it is this quality of Krishna as being Bhakta Vatsal, as being very dear to the devotees and the devotees being very dear to Him, that comes out. And we are seeing the importance of devotees in our life. Now all of us, some of us may have just read Prabhupada's books and become convinced to become a devotee. But for most of us, it was the hands of devotees in our lives which convinced us to take to Krishna consciousness. How many of you got convinced just by the books? One. How many of you got convinced by devotees? How many of you were blocked the devotees and they still convinced you? WhatsApp pe block kar diya, ya sometimes people change phone numbers also. But the devotees piche pad jate hain. You know, it's like that Lord sent the Sudarshan behind the Durvasa Muni. Waise devotees come behind us, kahin na kahin se. I remember there was a period after 1.5 years in Krishna consciousness when I became off. And then Sitaram Prabhu, that time WhatsApp and smartphones were not there, but I stopped receiving his phone calls. And every few days I would get a phone call from an unknown number by some of the other devotees. And then I stopped receiving all unknown number calls. And then somehow they had my landline number. So my mother would tell me, they are calling again and again, why don't you talk to them? They are calling you so much. And then once I remember that it was my birthday and I was working at that time. Yeah. So one devotee, Namacharya Prabhu, he called me. So I thought, chalo, theek hai, birthday hai, let me answer. Kuch punya milega devotee se sunne ko. And he said, where are you? Safe answer, Prabhu, in office. So I can't meet you. We are just below your office. Can you come down? And then he came and Nitai Madhav Prabhu, they were below my office with a whole big bag of Govinda's Prasad, all orchestrated, I'm sure, by Sitaram Prabhu. And just 1 or 2 months after that, then again, either you get some kicks in life or you get some clarity and then you think that, yeah, okay, bahut drift ho gaya now, let us get back on track. But at that time, if all of them are not behind us and if we are just left, the books are all powerful, but we are so illusioned, then we would not have been able to continue. So the importance of devotees. In fact, there are so many examples of even when the Lord gives up, the Lord never gives up, but He disowns a devotee. The other devotees don't give up. Like in Chaitanya Charitamrita, we have this wonderful pastime of Kala Krishna Das. Kala Krishna Das was Chaitanya Mahaprabhu's servant, personal servant. And when Mahaprabhu was on the South India tour, Kala Krishna Das was with him all the time, taking care of his personal needs, serving him in whatever way it was needed. And then once they were in a place where there were these gypsies. And for some time, Kala Krishna Das got bewildered. And then Mahaprabhu had to... So even when the Lord disowns, He doesn't disown in a way in which a devotee is in trouble. At that time, Mahaprabhu went and he rescued Kala Krishna Das from there, from the gypsies. And he brought him back till Jagannath Puri. And there he told everyone, what servant have you given me? Nikalo isko. I don't want to see him. He got bewildered. He's supposed to be with me. I have to take care of him. He's supposed to take care of me, but I had to take care of him. Nikalo isko. So then he was told, you cannot serve Mahaprabhu. And then he thought, okay, that's it. I have to go back home. वो जो डिग्री है उसको डस्ट निकालो और जाओ नौकरी करो, बस हो गया खत्म, निकाल दिया मुझे. And then Nityanand Prabhu, he said, no, wait. We need, there is एक सेवा है आप कर सकते हैं, एक सेवा है आपके लिए. And we need a messenger. ये जगन्नाथ पुरी में क्या क्या हो रहा है? सच्ची माता had told Mahaprabhu that you reside in Jagannath Puri. Always there are devotees coming up and down. I will at least get to know about you. So Nityanand Prabhu said, ये एक सेवा है, you please do. Now you go from here to Navadvip and recite everything to Mother Sachi, recite everything to Advaita Acharya, give pleasure and life to all those devotees, come back, we'll tell you more and jaake karo. And that's what he used to do. And they conveniently did not tell Mahaprabhu that ऐसे उसको engage किया है. Lord thinks कि हाँ उस तो निकल गया. And then after a while it is revealed. Actually कोई था नहीं वो सेवा के लिए, ये बेचारा बैठा था तो उसको लगा दिया सेवा में, चलेगा ना. And it is mentioned that the entire South India tour of Chaitanya Mahaprabhu was narrated to the devotees by Kala Krishna Das. Had he not been engaged in this seva, this whole tour of Mahaprabhu South India tour would not have been there. So although Lord rejected him, Nityanand Prabhu kept him. No. You be there. Ye karo. Now some of us may knowingly or unknowingly have been engaged like this from one to the other. So this is the glory of the devotees. Kala Krishna Das was rejected by the Lord, engaged by Nityanand Prabhu. And therefore, devotees are in one way more merciful than the Lord. Now this whole Ramji spirit is going on. So we hear in Ramayana how Hanuman was engaging the monkeys in making the bridge. And they were all writing Ram and the stones were floating. So Lord Ram thought, chalo main bhi karta hu. Ultimately my wife has been kidnapped, so I should also participate in making the bridge. So he also came and he's wondering, oh, kya hai ye stones float ho rahe hain aur ye sab. Come on, let me also try. Now he threw a stone and that stone sunk. That's his energy. Bhumi rapo nalo vayu kham mano buddhi revacha bhinna prakruti rashtada. Lord's external energy, stone. Lord's external energy, water. But the desired result doesn't come. It sinks. And same Lord's external energy, stone and water, when the monkeys are throwing, it's floating. Lord is saying, what is this? And then Hanuman said, oh, we are writing Ram. Lord also wrote his name, very embarrassed, but he also wrote his name, Ram. And he threw it, it's still sunk. Oh, come on. It's too much. Why? Hanuman told him that, see, what we are doing is we are taking dead matter and we are attaching you to it through your name. Nama Chintamani Krishna Chaitanya Rasa Vigraha. So we are attaching you through your name to the stone. And now it is not an ordinary stone. Now it has value. It has value. It's floating. It's doing the purpose to serve you. Whereas you are taking something which is close to you and you are throwing it away. And now it has no value because it's away from you. So you please leave this work for us. And Lord Ram is also thinking that, anyway, let me not come in between my holy name and my devotees. They both are more powerful than me. Holy name is more powerful than me. Sometimes devotees can make me dance. So, let me be behind. So these are the glories of the devotees. For the devotees, the Lord is known to break promises after promises. We recited the pastime of Bhishma Dev. I will not fight. I will not fight. I'll make the Lord fight. The Lord said, my promise तो वैसे भी बुरा नाम है, मेरा track record खास नहीं है. My track record is not very nice in this regard. When it comes to my devotees, I've सब principles तोड़ देता हूँ मैं. So one more I'll break, what's the big deal? But Bhishma's promise should not be broken. For the devotees, the Lord is ready to do anything. Krishna says in the Gita, Samoham sarva bhuteshu, na me dveshoste na priya. I am equal to everyone. I don't envy everyone. But that one shloka also Krishna cannot complete properly. He cannot. He said, but ye bhajanti tu mam bhakta mai te teshu cha. But if you are a devotee, then you are more dear to me. In that same shloka, it's not even he couldn't even wait for the next shloka to start. In that same shloka, Krishna is contradicting himself. And he's all truth, absolute truth. He's saying, I am equal to everyone. But if you are a devotee, you are more special. So we can see how the devotees are very dear to Krishna, and it is actually by the mercy of the devotees that we are able to perform Krishna consciousness. Srila Prabhupada wrote one book, Bhagavad Gita, manuscript, which got stolen, not stolen actually, sold. And then Prabhupada started writing magazines. Somebody told him, write books. He wrote Bhagavatam. He wrote the first canto. And he went to America. And then so many books came out. Prabhupada was the first book distributor of ISKCON. And then now there are how many? Crores and crores of books. Started with one book, Prabhupada distributed, now crores and crores of books. We are all in a position to become devotees and hear these pastimes of the Lord because of the pure devotee. So it's not just the pastimes of the Lord with the devotees which were recorded in Bhagavatam, or the pastimes of the Lord with the devotees which were recorded in Chaitanya Charitamrita. Prabhupada said Chaitanya Charitamrita doesn't end with the last chapter of Antya Leela. What is the last chapter of Antya Leela? Shikshastakam. Shikshastakam prayers. I think 13th or 14th chapter of Antya Leela is Shikshastakam. Prabhupada said it does not end there. The modern day pastimes of Chaitanya Charitamrita are written in the pages of the International Society for Krishna Consciousness. Prabhupada's words. So this goes on. It goes on. The Lord will be glorified by the devotees. Now we see Ram Janmabhoomi in Ayodhya. Just like we see in Treta Yuga. All these monkeys, some great, powerful, but some just very ordinary, all are engaged. We see now in the history, you see the history of the last 500 years. It is not just our honorable Prime Minister because of whom this temple was made. Right? He played an amazing, very important role. But if you see over the period of last 500 years, there have been various small people who have done small things to ensure that it could come to this stage and the Lord's temple could be made. So actually without the devotees, nothing is possible. For the Lord, everything is possible, but He makes it in such a way that you take the credit. Prabhupada says, no? Krishna consciousness will spread all over the world. Mahaprabhu has said it. Prithivite yache aage nagar agi gram sarvatra prachar hoibe mora naam. Hone hi wala hai. Now it is up to us. Prabhupada says, it's up to you whether you want to be the instrument or not. You want to take the credit or not. You see in the building of the Ayodhya temple also, so many people did small things and the temple got made. And certain people did big things and many people did small things. Same with how it was in Treta Yuga. So for us also now, as followers of Srila Prabhupada, there would be some devotees who can do big things, take big responsibilities, become leaders, do amazing things. And there can be some devotees who will be the rank and file devotees who are required to make it go on day in and day out. And ultimately the glory is for all of them. There was one disciple of Prabhupada, name is Bhuvaneshwar Prabhu. He cooked Krishna Balram's Rajbhog every day for 35 years, non-stop. Many devotees don't even know him. But he once, in one talk he was mentioning, Actually, he didn't mention it. Vaisheshika Prabhu was telling this about him. So he was saying that Bhuvaneshwar once told me that I learnt book distribution from you. He's telling Vaisheshika Prabhu. And whenever you used to distribute a Bhagavad Gita, you used to say, we are not after the money. You can give whatever you want. This book cost 5 cents to print. You give whatever you want. And he said, I would repeat the same line. Ki ye 5 cents. I mean, 100 cents is $1. Like for example, we would say, ये book 100 रुपए का है. आपको जितना देना है दो. So he said, I would say the same thing. But whenever you used to say, people used to give you $1, $5, $10. And whenever I used to say, they used to only give me 5 cents. But Vaisheshika Prabhu said, but he just continued. And he continued. And then after a while, he just took up this seva of Rajbhog. And without fail, every single day, he would be there offering that. So there could be some devotees. It doesn't matter how big we do. More important is to consistently do and be steady. After a while, then all those things, those doubts coming, those should not be there. We should be firm, we should be steady. We can learn again from these car sevaks, where unrelentingly that went on. Mandir aayega aur yahin pe aayega. It will come here only. We'll do it. Similarly, this life is meant for Prabhupada. Whatever till now I've got, it's by Prabhupada and his followers. This life I have to give to Srila Prabhupada. Whatever else is going to happen is fine. This one thing cannot be compromised. And then Lord can use all of us to do wonderful things in His service. Nagar Adigram, it is going to spread everywhere. And it is going to spread by the service of the devotees, by the mercy of the devotees, by the efforts of the devotees. And then the next page in Chaitanya Charitamrita will get added. The preaching, the chapters of Chaitanya Charitamrita also like that, no? The preaching of the Attapur Brahmanas. बस लेके इधर गए फिर उधर गए. So this is one side, the wonderful inspiration we get from the devotees. There's another side. Sometimes it becomes difficult to be with devotees. So His Holiness Kadam Kanan Maharaj was asked this question once. So he said that devotee association is all good. Association of devotees is all glorious. Only 2 things can happen when we associate with devotees. One is we get inspired, and that's very nice. We'll get inspired. And the other is if we don't get inspired, we will get to learn how to apply the 3rd verse of Shikshastakam. Trinadapi sunichena, tarorapi savisna, amanina manadena, kirtanya sadahari. If we are troubled by devotees, sometimes we don't like certain things that a devotee does. Maybe he snores too much when he sleeps next to me in the ashram, or whatever it could be. We all have some things. So Maharaj was saying at that time we have to learn that Krishna is teaching me tolerance also. Whom will He teach me through? Through the devotees. So either I get inspiration or I get this tolerance. Either way, association of devotees is all good. And here in this verse it is mentioned that only through the devotees can we find out about the Lord, and the pastimes of the Lord include the pastimes of the devotees. So either way, the association of devotees is all good. Today we will get to associate with His Holiness Indradumna Swami Maharaj. He is a very inspiring, charismatic person. If you think of charisma, you can think of his name. Tall, broad-chested, and very well-spoken, wonderful kirtan. Our Baba Deenbandhu Prabhu says, in many pastimes he mentions, and then whenever he talks about Apsaras dancing or something, he says, and then the Apsaras trained by Indradumna Swami were dancing, and then he got bewildered, or this happened, or that happened. So that is very, very inspiring to see all these exemplary personalities who met Srila Prabhupada when they were in their teens, or early 20s, and 50 years later they are still going. Many of you attended His Grace Bhurijan Prabhu's Japa seminars over the last 2 days. Bhurijan Prabhu met Srila Prabhupada in 1966. Yeah, 67, 66, 67. And at Woodstock Festival in New York. And then Prabhupada sent him here and there, Hong Kong, Japan, pioneers, they are still there. Indrajit Maharaj, the way he met Prabhupada was, again, it matches with this verse. He was studying in Michigan University. I was I am, but earlier it was like, there was this craze about Indrajit Maharaj in the late 2000s. He used to write diaries, diary of a traveling preacher. And later it was changed to monk, but earlier it was called Diaries of the Traveling Preacher. And every month he used to release one diary entry about some amazing activities going on. So very inspiring. The way he came to Krishna consciousness was, he was studying in university, Michigan University. And once in the university, this is maybe 1969 or 1970, these 4 devotees came. Vishnujan Maharaj, Brahmananda Prabhu, Gargamuni Prabhu, and Subal Swami. They were all Swamis. All 4 were Brahmananda Swami, Gargamuni Swami, that time. All 4 were sannyasis. And for some reason, for some time, they were told not to go to ISKCON temples. So they were preaching on their own. And they came there. And he was saying, I was just sitting below a tree in the university, and suddenly I heard this melodious voice. If you have heard Vishnujan Maharaj, Prabhupada called only 2 or 3 devotees as emperors of Kirtan. One was Madhudvisa Prabhu, Vishnujan Swami. So Indrajit Maharaj says, I got so attracted that I went there to see where is this amazing sound coming from. I saw these 4 effulgent personalities, tall, shaven head, wearing these bright saffron robes. And one of them was playing the mridanga, as if it was some, like a Gandharva. And his feet were not touching the ground, and he was singing. And I got so attracted by him that I thought, I have actually met somebody who's not from this world. That time I thought, if I want to be happy in life, I should just become like him. And then he waited for the kirtan to get over. Then he spoke to all of them. And then he said, Vishnujan Swami made me sit down. And for the next 3 hours, he just spoke to me about Srila Prabhupada. Not about Krishna, not about, DYS. He just spoke to me about Prabhupada. And he said, at the end of the 3 hours, I was convinced that the goal of my life is to become a disciple of this personality. And then they asked him that, is there a place to stay, somewhere where we can stay? And he said, yeah, okay, I have a place. Me and my wife stay there. Although he was student, he was married. And my dog stays there. So you're welcome to come. And so then he said, but then common sense prevailed. Me, my wife and my dog shifted. Below there was a construction site. We slept there. And we gave our apartment to these 4 sannyasis. And then they had no food. And so he said, I had $250 is my savings, which I had earned by doing small work in the university. So I gave that money to one of the sannyasis who was very bulky and tall, Brahmananda Swami. And I gave it to him and I said, this is all I have. And he said, okay, great. And he went to the supermarket and he spent the entire $250 in buying bhoga. And then they cooked a grand feast and they offered it to Prabhupada's picture. And then he said, that was the first time I tasted prasad. And he said, at the end of the 3 days, they said, we can only stay for 3 days. We cannot stay beyond that. We are sannyasis, we can only stay in one place for 3 days. And he said, at the end of the 3rd day, all my material attachments were over. I had long hair, I cut it. I had, a dog, I gave it. And he said, my wife also became convinced, so there was no need to leave her. And he said, at that time, when they left, they gave us the address to the Detroit temple, which was the closest. And then they left, and we joined the temple. So, devotees, by the devotees' mercy, by the devotees' association. Now, what wonderful things they have done. Once, His Grace Jayananda Prabhu, whose photograph is there on the Rath Yatra cart. Prabhupada had said, no, his photo should be there in every Rath Yatra cart because he was the one who made the first cart. And in the initial years, he was the one who used to make all the carts. So once, that time, there were 3 big Rath Yatras in ISKCON. Now there are so many big Rath Yatras. That time there were 3. San Francisco, New York and London. These were the 3 main Rath Yatras. The Rath Yatra started outside India in San Francisco. So out of all these 3, the San Francisco Rath Yatra, because it was the pioneer of Rath Yatra, it was considered everyone, all the ISKCON devotees would come for San Francisco Rath Yatra. And so every year they would try to make the Rath bigger and bigger and better and better. So once Jayananda Prabhu was lying underneath the cart doing something, and he would come out, take one tool, go back in, fix it, come out, take another tool, go back in, fix it. And there was this one tall person who was observing him. And he was, Jayananda Prabhu's personality was such that he was very, very friendly. And he was very easily likable. Everyone would love him. So this person thought, young boy thought, I should do some help for him. So Jayananda Prabhu came out, he saw him, he greeted him, Hari Bol, how are you, this, that. And then he asked, can I do something, can I help you? He said, sure, you stand here, and so that whenever I ask you to give me one tool, you give me. And so that I don't have to come out. And like that for 1 hour, he was fixing, and this boy was giving him. And it was not just, Tika ye do, he was also talking to him. So he started preaching to him. At the end of that 1 hour, that boy became so impressed. And he thought कि ये मंदिर का मैकेनिक इतना अच्छा बोलता है, तो अंदर के डिवोटीज कितना अच्छा बोलते होंगे. और Jayananda Prabhu was president of San Francisco temple. And that boy became so interested. Then Jayananda Prabhu took him inside, gave him prasad, and that boy became convinced, whose name is now His Holiness Jayapataka Swami Maharaj. So, all because of devotees. So this is the importance of having devotees in our life. We sometimes, in fact many times, at least I can speak for myself, I feel that I know so much, I am good at so many things, I am doing so many things, I can do so many more things. And in reality it may just be that, the devotees might be thinking, this Narottam Priya, ये useless fellow, कुछ इसको इतना खाली बिना बात के puffed up है, कुछ करने से, ठीक है ये एक सेवा दे दो, at least ये कुछ करेगा. And through that, just by doing that, we get purified. And then so many of our excess baggage gradually goes away. We don't even come to know how, devotees' hand is there in our life. We have in fact seen so many cases of devotees who have left our group and are doing something else, but they are doing something else also which they got from the leader of this group, and they are engaged somewhere or the other in the Lord's service. So it's the hand of the devotees is so important. If we want the mercy of the Lord, it is through the devotees. And the more we realize the importance of the devotees in our life, the more we will be in a safe situation. Then there is, even if I desperately want to leave, there's no chance. Like Loknath Maharaj, he gives this example. He says that in Kumbh Mela, now next year Kumbh Mela is going to come in Prayagraj. Sitaram Prabhu is having big plans for all of you devotees to spend time in Kumbh Mela distributing Prabhupada's books. But how many of you have gone to Allahabad, Prayagraj Kumbh Mela before? Which period does it come? Magh, right? January. It's very cold. Like Baba was saying, yesterday in Vrindavan it was 4 degrees. We have one friend in Vrindavan, Prem Prakash, Prabhu. He was saying, इस बार इतना ठंड है, धूप ही नहीं निकल रहा है, कोरा है सब जगह, वृंदावन खाली हो गया है. आपको जो भी गेस्ट हाउस में रूम चाहिए, आप सीधा वॉक इन करो, हाफ प्राइस पे वो लोग दे रहे हैं, कोई है ही नहीं वृंदावन में, इट्स सो कोल्ड. So Prayagraj weather is like that. In fact, it's even more because it's a campsite. And in that you have to go and take a dip in the Sangam. Very cold. Very cold. And उसमें भी वो जो शाही स्नान का जो time होता है, it's all early in the morning, before the sun rises. We had gone in 2013 with Sitaram Prabhu. Me, Sitaram Prabhu, Chaitanya Avatar Prabhu, Sanatan Gaurang Prabhu, few devotees we went. So Loknath Maharaj gives this example that even if you wake up and you decide, chalo nahi, main snan karunga, and you go near and it gets more cold. Near the Ganga, it's even more cold. At that time, even if you think, mere se nahi hoga, and if you turn around and you try to go, there's no chance. There are so many thousands of people behind you that आप एक जगह तक खाली पहुंच जाओ. थोड़ा guts लेके थोड़ा अपने tent के बाहर निकलो to the road. That's it. He said the sadhus will ensure you will take a dip, and they'll also ensure you'll be thrown back out of the Ganga. And he says that is the importance of association of devotees. If we remain packed up in association of devotees, devotees will ensure we are engaged in seva. They'll ensure we don't mess up very badly. They'll ensure at least in this life, whatever else happens, in this life, we will not forget Krishna, we will not forget Guru, and somewhere or the other we'll be engaged. And then if we decide to really become nicely situated, then we are in a very good situation. So this is the glory of devotees. This is the glory of the Lord, that He allows devotees to do things. And because the devotees are so eager to save the souls, therefore they are so dear to the Lord. So here we are reading about Maharaj Pariksit, and while we are discussing Maharaj Parikshit's life, automatically the glories of Krishna come out. Because all that Maharaj Pariksit wanted to do was hear about Lord Krishna, protect the Brahmanas, and keep Kali at bay, so that the Brahmanas could continue to perform their religious practices. And so whether we think of Maharaj Parikshit's birth in the womb, we remember Krishna. When we think of Maharaj Parikshit's childhood, he's looking, where is Krishna, where is Krishna? A doll was made of Krishna, he used to worship. We think of Krishna. When we think of Maharaj Pariksit as a king, protecting the Brahmanas, every reception used to be Krishna Katha, we think of Krishna. When we think of Maharaj Parikshit's death, we think of Krishna, because Bhagavatam is spoken. So from womb, like they say, from womb till tomb, from Maharaj Parikshit's birth till his concluding pastimes on this planet, it is all about Lord Krishna. Although it is about Maharaj Pariksit, he is such a devotee that you cannot but discuss about Lord Krishna. So this is the mercy of devotees, this is the importance of devotees in our life, and by the mercy of Srila Prabhupada, we are having this opportunity to associate with devotees. Imagine if Prabhupada would not have made the International Society for Krishna Consciousness, where would we have devotee association? Earlier there were just some mathas, some gurus used to have disciples in that area, very few, and that's it. Bhaktisiddhanta ji institutionalized Gaudiya Vaishnavism, and Prabhupada spread it all over the world. So by Prabhupada's compassion, we are having this opportunity to have temples like this and books like these, where we can associate with devotees and become devotees. Hare Krishna. Any question or comments or corrections?
Hare Krishna, Prabhuji. Thank you very much, Prabhuji, for wonderfully explaining all the pastimes of Prabhupada and the Lord. The question was that, Prabhuji, regarding the importance of devotee. Sometimes, as you said, the difference between the Kanishta Adhikari and the Madhyam Adhikari. But living in the ashram, when we see devotees, all the juniors, the equals and the seniors, we are all together. And after, in the beginning, we may feel ki we have to give respect, but after time, we don't show the respect also, in the mind also. So how do we overcome such obstacles?
We are in devotee association, and initially it is all good, and after a while we become familiar, and then we do not show respect externally, or we don't show respect in the mind. So we know that that's not a very good situation. And there are the scriptures describe 3 ways of associating with devotees who are lower than us. We are compassionate to them. Devotees who are equal to us, we have friendly relations with them. And devotees who are senior to us, we have respect for them. So you were not there, no, in our Bhivandi. You were there. So when we were having our meeting, so Chaitanya Avatar Prabhu was giving the example of Sitaram Prabhu. So he was saying that, no, I have seen Sitaram Prabhu, how he can be very dynamic and very bold, but at the same time in front of his seniors he is very, very respectful and very humble. So we have examples not just in Shastra, we have examples in front of our eyes, and we understand in theory this is to be done. So you combine the theory with the examples and just do it. Nike का है ना slogan, just do it. सोचो मत करो. But it's not just कि अरे मैं क्यों करूँ और कोई नहीं करता. No, here are examples. There may be some people who are not doing. Like you may see me maybe not doing, but then you are seeing Sitaram Prabhu doing, Chaitanya Avatar Prabhu doing. You take those examples. And in theory we know we are supposed to respect devotees. So much we are hearing now how the Lord, for the Lord, devotees are so dear. He breaks his vows, he breaks his promises, he does all sorts of notorious activities for the devotees. And then he's not very pleased. वो दुर्वासा मुनि वाला pastime 1000 बार सुना है हमने. So we just have to follow. We have to, even if it is just mechanically, but we should do. And then also, if just genuinely respect is absolutely not coming, then we should seek help. We should go to that one devotee who is very close to us, who is guiding us, and we should say, this is what is going on, can you help me? There's something, maybe something is wrong. Also, after a while of being in Krishna consciousness, certain fundamentals should become, we should become convinced about those. Our faith in those things should be very strong. And then, those things should be very clear. That, yeah, okay, like this. I should not feel anything like this about at least devotees who are guiding me or devotees who are senior to me. You would like to elaborate? There's a mic.
I was thinking the best way to understand the value of devotees is go away from devotees for some time. You will understand where you stand and what you are with devotees, how protected you are. Just go home for a month or 15 days. And then you have to come back with the permission only. You will cry, I want to come back. And you understand. When you were answering, I was just thinking this and you asked me. The easiest way to get very strong conviction what we are without devotees. Grasthas know it better. And I was also contemplating when Narottam Prabhu was explaining about Burijan Prabhu. In fact, I was reflecting. Burijan Prabhu, he was preaching in Hong Kong. And he was having some challenges, and Prabhupada sent him a devotee and he got married to her. And I think Jagatari Mataji went and told Prabhupada, send me to get married. Yeah. So Burijan
with
Prabhu,
a letter.
With a letter. Burijan Prabhu was having some challenges, so he wrote to Prabhupada. Prabhupada sent a wife with a letter, go and get married. And she went and told Prabhupada, send me this letter to get married to you and help you in preaching.
And that was the first time they
met each other.
ever interacted, because Jagatarini Mataji was a devotee in Australia and Burijan Prabhu was a devotee in America and then sent to Hong Kong.
And then they started the Hong Kong center. Our Narottam Priya Prabhu's life is also a little like this only. We were having a youth camp going on in Mayapur, and his good wife wanted to get married only to a devotee. So I told him, there is a devotee coming, you get married. And they got married. They met each other on the marriage day. Apparently Gangarani just walked in when I was thinking about this. And they have two beautiful children here. So he's a very true missionary Grahastha. Very fortunate to hear from him. Hare Krishna.
Grantaraj Śrīmad-Bhāgavatam ki, Jagat Guru Śrīla Prabhupada ki, Samaveta Bhakta Vrinda ki, Jai Nitai Gaur Premanande.
Avangscha Sri Rupam Sagrajatam